news. No, too aggressive. This is the news. No. This. Oh yeah, this right here. This is the news. This. Good evening. This is the news. I'm Shuddy Bassey, here to bring you all the top stories at the top of the hour. And we begin with the Bank of England has issued an urgent warning after a rogue AI began printing money at an alarming rate. However, officials admit the notes are actually quite fun and have decided to keep the newly minted pi pounds and Fibonacci fivers, which come in denominations of 0, 1, 1, 2, 5, 8, 13, and so on. Can you train a train? A scientific breakthrough has left researchers baffled, as a team at Oxford University has successfully taught a locomotive engine to play chess. While its strategy is rudimentary, experts agree it shows promise in the mid-game, but runs out of steam in endgame scenarios. A local council has admitted to an unfortunate clerical error that resulted in an entire village being mistakenly relocated 12 miles south into the English Channel overnight. Residents now stranded in an unfamiliar postcode initially demanded an explanation, but later drowned due to oxygen deprivation. In lighter news, a group of billionaires on another goofball dick-swinging mission were all found dead on Sunday, after what authorities believe was their attempt to live off money alone. The four men, who cannot be named due to lack of interest, were following the compound interest diet, which instructs adherents to only consume coins. However, none of the men could spare any change and quickly died of a combination of starvation and hubris. A local woman almost successfully sued her neighbour over a dispute involving a garden gnome that mysteriously walks between properties at night. Surveillance footage shows the gnome moving of its own accord, but North Yorkshire police later confirmed that it was in fact a pixie and no gnome, and therefore the case was dropped. Now, my next guest has been at the centre of a recent controversy, though I suspect they may not yet even realise it. Join me after this short break. So, are you ready for your big interview? Oh yes. I've got all the details here. To be completely honest with you, we need better ratings, so I need you to ham it up a little bit, if you can. Is that alright? Yeah. Embellish, lie, if you must. It's only the news, after all, don't worry. But just because I like you, doesn't mean I won't go easy on you. You understand? Good. Alright. Here we go. Are you ready? Hello. Welcome back. This is the news. I'm Rowdy Roddy Piper. And, as mentioned before the break, I have a guest with me. Can you guess who they are? Let's find out. Don't look me in the eye. Now, guest. From what I understand, and from what sources have revealed, you were simply enjoying a cup of tea at a cafe last Tuesday. Is that correct? And at some point, did you or did you not make a comment regarding biscuits? And is it true that you pronounce that word, biscuit? No, I'm just asking the questions that the public deserve to hear. You see, sources indicate that this remark was overheard by several brand ambassadors who work for Big Biscuit. Is this ringing any bells? All right. Well, perhaps it would surprise you to learn that, following your comment, Spain has now formally withdrawn from the Geneva Convention. Yeah. The nation is in uproar. There are protests in the streets. People have started doing cool and unusual things to custard creams. How does that make you feel? I'd feel terrible. Terribly good. Do you condone soggy biscuits? And would you consider yourself an artful dodger or more of a jammy dodger? And finally, simply because I have to ask, do you have anything at all to say to the citizens of Luxembourg? Right. And there you have it. Shocking stuff. Anyway, I'm so sorry about that. Back to the headlines. An amateur beekeeper has broken records after successfully teaching his bees to commit regicide. The phenomenon, condemned by far-right groups as deeply un-British, has created a buzz, wink, around the monarchy debate, with many apiaries becoming hotbeds for revolutionary organisations. The annual cheese rolling championship was thrown into chaos this morning when an unexpected challenger, an actual wheel of cheese, won the race by a considerable margin. Authorities remain divided as the surprise win threw a wedge into the competition and was grating for fans of the sport to watch. Oh dear. The nation remains divided after a parliamentary debate on whether Jaffa cakes are, in fact, biscuits. Tory opposition argues that if you dunk it in tea, it falls apart. But the Labour Party maintains that the confection identity of the snack should not be called into question. Very important stuff. So our next guest has become something of an unexpected national figure, following an event that many are struggling to explain. Join me after the break to find out more. Are you ready for your second interview? I know you're the same person as before, but that's why we put the wig on you. It's a very slow news day. News day comes after Monday. Now, I told you before, don't look me in the eye. Well, you only went and looked me in the eye. Please don't. It puts me off. Anyway, I promise this one will be a lot nicer than the last one. Do you believe me? No, I wouldn't either. Anyway, here we go. You ready? Yes, yes. And welcome back. I'm Princess Diana, bringing you all the top stories on an hour. As I said, our next guest has been up to no good in London, England. Now, let's find out what this is. So, would you describe yourself as an ordinary person? That's what it says here, ordinary. Oh, really? Ordinary. Yet, photographic evidence clearly shows you leading a herd of stray dogs through Trafalgar Square while dressed as a medieval knight. Would you care to explain yourself? No. LARPing can only explain so much. Dogs aren't self-aware. They didn't know what they were doing. Tell me the truth. I'll ask you again. Care to explain yourself? No. Care to explain yourself? This is hard-hitting journalism. Care to explain yourself? Fine. Eyewitnesses report that you appeared to be on a mission from God. Is that true? Well, we reached out to God. There was no word from the Office of Heaven, so it falls to you. Would you say that was an accurate description of whatever the heck was going on? I see. Very interesting. Some claim that you were speaking to the dogs in what sounded like Old English. Are you aware of this? Well, it was you, wasn't it? Are you a dog? And finally, I must ask, did you or did you not attempt to claim Westminster Abbey in the name of the Kingdom of Dog? Right. And there you have it. Well done. I'm so sorry for anyone who was offended by that last story. It's hard-hitting stuff. Oh. This is the news, and this is Tom Jones. But a bit of breaking news for you. Never done this before. Stop doing that. Why do you always have to change the camera? It's my big moment. Where was I? Breaking news. As chaos broke out during a crucial G7 summit this weekend, when it was revealed that the appetizers being served before the event had in fact been laced with ecstasy. We're getting this news as it arrives, so I apologize if it's a bit rough around the edges. The conference, which was being held in Croatia, in Split, has left people feeling divided, as world leaders were seen aggressively kissing and hugging one another before exchanging positive affirmations, and later devolving into into a full-scale orgy. Onlookers at the scene described in needlessly graphic detail some of the positions chosen by the delegates, with one noting that French President Emmanuel Macron was becoming increasingly agitated towards the end, or the climax of the event, shouting, "I can't finish unless you look me in the eye." But surprisingly, this turn of events is said to have improved relations between the nations. Well, it rhymes. But more on that later. As after this short break, we have another guest. Let's see who they are after a break. I know. Now you're just wearing a hat, but they'll believe anything. Now, I know the last 2 times I said, don't look me in the eye. But this time, really do it. Look me in the eye. Yeah, it's the news. The news. I haven't been saying that right. Alright. You bloody ready? Good on you. You've been an excellent triptychal guest. And welcome back to the news. I'm Sting. And our next guest has recently made some headlines for their rather unusual occupation, one that has now come under serious scrutiny. Keep peeping the peepers. You are, as I understand it, the world's first officially recognized cloud herder. Is that correct? And your job involves, I imagine, gently guiding clouds into more aesthetically pleasing formations. Is that correct? Right. And do you accept that, as a result of your work, a thunderstorm unexpectedly formed over Parliament yesterday? And were you aware that the ensuing acid rain dissolved Parliament early? Right. Well, I should tell you, meteorologists are calling it an act of weather-based mischief, but some call it murder. Do you deny this? Do you? Look me in the eye. Do you deny this? No, I'm not a cyclops. Look in one eye. Murder? Fine. Lastly, do you have any other plans to herd the clouds into a shape that, resembles something nice, for example, a giant penis, as a way of issuing a formal apology? I didn't think so. Scum. You're a nimbo cumulus. Is that a cloud? You should know, you're the expert. Anyway, we'll leave that there. Well done, you did really well. Oh, shit. What? So, you're making me seasick, please. Right, well, what about that, folks? This is the news. I'm Cardinal Wolsey, bringing you stories on an hour top. It's nearly time. A man from Cornwall has successfully constructed what experts are calling the South Coast's largest sandcastle. However, concerns have arisen after local authorities who sniffed and tasted the castle discovered it was made entirely of cocaine. Those concerns quickly subsided and were replaced with increased aggression, arrogance, and a severe loss of appetite. Oh, for God's sake. It's confirmed. Climate change isn't real. Not anymore. In a shocking announcement from the Department of Energy and Climate Change, it was explained that climate change is no longer an existential threat to humanity. It has been rebranded to climate threat, in essence admitting that change was not something to be afraid of to begin with, and was never something that was going to happen. And finally, the British Isles are today celebrating what is believed to be the triennial anniversary of the apology. Though it was used extensively before records began, the obsequious conversation starter, ender, and subject of interest first saw recorded use in this country when King Athelstan apologised for no reason in particular. Since then, the phrase "I'm sorry" has been used at least 13 times a day by Brits everywhere. And on that note, all I can do is apologise for the news today. I think I covered everything in these blank pieces of paper, but I'd like to thank you for joining me for all these top news stories at the top of the hour, top of the pops. I've been Tony Blair, and goodbye. No, that sounds too final. Good night. That sounds too threatening. Good morning. Sleep well. Don't let the bed bugs kill you. No. Thank you. No, that'll do. This was the news. Stop it. Flipping camera stuff all the bloody time. Give me a crick in my neck. I feel sick. No, you know what, Joe? Do one. Hear the news anyway. It's all made out.